Hello, it's Dr. Rowe. I think we're live. I hope we're live. I'm sat in the office here and look what's directly behind me. This is the scales. What a great shot, isn't it? If I move out of the way, you can just see it there. Look. Decisions to be made. So I wanted to talk about this subject briefly. It comes up a lot. I think each of us on a daily basis face decisions that we have to make, whether it's a small decision, occasionally a big decision, and then sometimes in our life we get these big life-changing decisions, the ones that we know if we make this decision and we stick with it and we put the work behind it, it's going to completely transform our lives. And I have a phrase quite often when I'm in front of an audience, for example, where I talk about, are you in or are you out? My favourite one, I have to say, is are you curious or are you serious? Are you curious or are you serious? And it's as simple as that. For me, if you're serious, you're in, and if you're curious, you're out. There is no middle ground when it comes to making an important decision. But by making a decision not to make a decision, you've already made a decision. Think about that for a minute. It sounds like double Dutch, doesn't it? Classic example, somebody that wants to develop a business or property business. I'm doing an event shortly, and that's going to be the same challenge for the people that are sat watching me and have done for many, many years. And anyone else that's inspiring, that's teaching you to do something new, stock market trading, writing a book, developing an online business, whatever it is. If you see something for you, if you see an opportunity, the greatest challenge you have at that point there, I don't think it's a challenge if you have the commitment, but for someone that's slightly out, what do you think? Maybe, maybe not. If you're not completely committed to it, you're not going to make the right decision. The problem is, if you're sat, for example, watching that presentation, like the people that are watching me when I'm doing these programs to do with investing in real estate, property, and they're there for a reason. They haven't done research, they haven't looked up which companies teach, they haven't had an interest and thought, I want to do that, and then found out where to do it, attended a free presentation and then paid to come. They haven't come all the way down that rabbit hole to suddenly say, sod this, it's not for me. They must be there because it's something that's really serious to them, it's important to them, it's life changing, it's an opportunity to make a change in their lives. So if you think about it from that perspective, you've already come down that rabbit hole to that point. So you've made several decisions that get you there. The challenge, and I'm looking at the screen here, is that now you're at a tipping point where it needs more weight on one side to make that decision right, to follow that through and to be committed. Because the alternative is to stay doing what you're doing. And for example, if somebody's watching a property training that I might be doing and they're pissed off with their job, they're frustrated, they want to do something different, they know they need to make a decision. And if they don't make a change, they carry on doing what they're doing. By not making a decision to step up, to invest in themselves, to go out and look at properties, to do the research, ideally to have somebody coach, mentor them and to guide them through the process. If they don't make that decision, they've already made a decision by default to continue on the existing path. And that's the one that I'm more afraid of than the decision to make a change. Because the decision to make a change is one they're in control of. They have the ability to engage the right people, to guide them, people that have done it the correct way. Whereas the other decision is no different to anything else they've done for the last 5, 10, 15 years. Stay in the same place, carry on doing the same thing, getting the same result, getting more frustrated, not having security. That's very expensive. If you then equate that to the number of years spent in that job, the loss is into the millions. I mean, we're talking millions. And I did a live on this about a week ago. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. And I talk about the cost of not making these sort of decisions and putting the work in. So there's 3 things I want you to consider. If you're at a point in a crossroads where you've got this tipping, this balancing point, and you've got to put enough weight to make the right decision over here, for example, or over here. Maybe that's where you're at the moment, this big block. And over here, you might need to add just one more stone to the top there to tip it in the right direction. Number 1 is the importance of this decision. This is where people get decisions wrong. Going for a restaurant, do I go to that one or do I go to that one? That isn't as important as do I choose this path in my life or this path in my life. Rosa Parks didn't give up a seat to a white person. It was transformational, not just for her, but for the whole black movement in America. And it helped that catalyst. It created a catalyst that really triggered this inspirational change. She made a big decision, which at the time most people weren't prepared to make. So that's the first question, is if you're watching this right now, how important is it that you make a life change? And if it is really important, just get the hell on and do it. Don't hesitate, because being stuck in the same place is a lot worse over here as this block. It's frustrating, it pisses you off, and you know you've got to make a change. Even if people around you are negative and holding you back, or possibly even doing this. Where's my crab? You got people around you that look like this. You shouldn't do it. You know, I had a friend of mine that tried this, or it's a scam, or don't get into this, don't do this, don't write books, don't get a property, whoever it is and whatever you're trying to do. There will be people like that will try and put you off. Frankly, that's their choice, not yours. You're the person that has the power to make that decision. That's number one. Number two, as I put on the screen there, is how committed are you? Are you more committed to working for someone else, to earning enough money to get by, but earning enough money for them to have a better lifestyle than you and for the company to grow? Or are you more committed to putting time in to grow your business, to generate more success and financial security for you and your family, such that that commitment allows you to have the time to do the things that you want to do? That's a really important question. So commitment comes into this. It's not just about the importance, but the commitment to that importance. Is it a case of, it would be really nice and it's really important to me, or it would be amazing to have it, I absolutely want it, I'm prepared to put the hours in, I appreciate it's going to involve investing money in myself, in my business, investing time, getting the right people around me and putting the effort in, I appreciate all that and I'm committed to doing that? Or are you going to be committed to putting more time, effort, energy and money into somebody else, i.e. somebody else's business, because you're working for them? It's as simple as that. The block over here is, for example, a job. Over here, how many reasons can you stack over here to tip it in your favour? You see, you're the only one that can make the difference. Your boss can't, your mum can't, your uncle can't, your brother can't, your sister can't, your family, your partner, your wife, your husband, none of those can make a difference, because you're the one that's going to put the work in. Yes, it's nice to have their support, but even if they don't support you, what you're going to do, you're going to sit back and wait in life until everything lines up, until all the crabs are gone, and then you make a decision, and then you make a commitment. I don't think it works that way. I think you have to just get on and do whatever it takes. And if people don't want to come with you, that's fine. Get on and do it anyway, and just allow them to be part of your journey. They can watch, they can be observers in your journey, but you're going to be the person that drives the vehicle. And the last one there is the consequences. This is the biggest one. This is what we call leverage. What if you don't? What if you don't make that decision? What if you just say, you know, I don't want to make this investment? I mean, back in the early days, even up until last year, people on the courses I used to teach were paying £20,000-25,000 to go and do a property course. That's what I did. But I looked at the importance, I looked at the consequences, and I looked at the commitment. And the consequences, if I didn't, were going to cost me a lot more. To not be financially free for another 25-30 years is going to cost you £2 to £3 million, because the money that you could have made on an annual basis over that period would have equated to that. So when I look at it from that perspective, but then you add on the time you could spend with your family, the opportunities you get to create, the chances it opens up when you've got time freedom to start another business, to create new ideas, to write a new book, to expand and grow as a person, have more purpose, that is invaluable. So you're squibbling and squabbling over £5,000-10,000, whatever it is, to educate yourself to become different, to build a business. I mean, you can't start a business on 1 pence. You need to invest both in yourself and your business and the future. So look at the consequences of not doing it. If I don't do it, this is what my life's going to be like. This is how I'm going to feel. This is what I do with my family, what I'm not going to be able to achieve. This is all going to be the frustration. If you start to weigh that up against, if I do it, yes, there's going to be an outlay of time and money, but my goodness me, it's going to outweigh completely the other. So that's what it needs to be. 3 things. And they are the 3 more things we're going to stack over here as I look at my photograph here. We get 3 more. We've got importance, commitment, and consequences. Don't underestimate this. This is the easiest way to make a decision. This is the easiest way to influence which way you swing. And by not making a decision, by default, you've already made a decision, which means you're going to stay in the status quo, average, middle of the road, whatever you want to call it, doing the things you don't want to do, because you wouldn't have got to that point. You wouldn't have had the opportunity to put your feet. You wouldn't have had somebody push you, stretch you, and challenge you at this point if it wasn't important. And I think that's the thing to remember as well. Good. Hopefully that helps. We often get people come and ask me questions about how do you make decisions, and what do you do when you have to deal with this sort of stuff. So I just like to share here in the live space to help you. See you on the next live. Hopefully you like the balance, and hopefully the tips were helpful. See you soon.